Hello, my name is Kathy Lee, and today we'll be talking about bee and plant interactions in urban areas. So first, what is a pollinator? A pollinator is anything that helps move pollen between flowers, such as bees, wasps, hummingbirds, and bats. So for my study specifically, we'll be looking at honeybees and native bees. The major difference is that honeybees are not native to the Americas and are usually used to commercially pollinate flowers. Their honey is what we usually see in grocery stores. Pollinators are key for pollination of both native and agricultural plants. They require pollen and nectar to survive. Pollinator populations are declining due to disease, climate change, pesticides, and loss of foraging space. Studies have shown that urbanization could negatively impact plant species richness and pollinator diversity due to the lack of viable green space and foraging resources within the city. So for my hypothesis is that lavender will attract native pollinators more, but plants that are located near honeybee colonies will exhibit less pollinator diversity due to competition. This means that the urban garden located near the honeybee hives will show more honeybee populations compared to native bee populations due to competition. So this is my experimental setup. I planted 50 lavender plants and 50 bee balm plants at each garden. One of them is located by the honeybee hives, and 500 meters further down is another garden located by the creek. We will use this to test between honeybee populations and native bee populations. So this is a time lapse of two of my urban gardens. For the sake of this project, I will be only showing one plot. So for example, the first picture is the plot by the beehive before any work has been done. After a spot has been picked out, I use solarization tarp to lay down on the grass and basically cook the ground from 2 weeks to a month to kill any grass. After 2 weeks to a month, under hot temperatures, the tarp was lifted and then sod cutted to clear the grass. Afterwards, the tarp was laid back down and 1 by 1 meter quadrants were cut into the tarp. After the tarp was secured down, fertilizer and soil was added and lavender and bee balm were planted. This is what the plants look like now, lavender on the left and bee balm on the right. So for my results so far, we can see that bee balm was much more preferred by pollinators compared to lavender. This chart shows us the overall number of pollinators by plant and by location. We can see that the number of pollinators by the hive is much more larger than the number of pollinators located by the creek. Bee balm and lavender by comparison, bee balm has much more other pollinators, while lavender and bee balm located at the creek is much less. This we can show the different diversities of the pollinators. It is separated into 3 categories as honeybees, native bees, and other pollinators. We can see on the upper left quadrant that bee balm hive plots show much more overall diversity and richness compared to bee balm creek, lavender hive, and lavender creek plots. This may be because of the different growth rates, but overall, this is data that has only been taken after 3 different time points. The results may change as data collection continues. So for future data collections, visual and vegetation surveys will continue until the end of summer in order to collect more data. So far, only 3 different time points have been collected due to the flowers only blooming in June. Based off the current data, though, the hypothesis is currently supported. Thank you for watching.